For a woman to take a job as a policewoman or as a private detective was an act of great courage or desperation. It was regarded as a lowly profession, almost as damning of a woman's character as if she were an actress. Nonetheless, the Victorian era found quite a few women engaged in the profession in fictional form. Without exception, they were strong, independent women who didn't fret about their reputations as they had a job to do and went about their business with dependable dedication and intelligence. While it is common for these literary figures to rely on their intuition and occasionally their charm, they display a doggedness and a surprising degree of courage that enables them to solve mysteries. Charging into the 20th century, it became more common for female characters, both detectives and criminals, to engage in their respective activities more for sport and entertainment than out of necessity. And nowhere is this more in evidence than in the pulp magazines. America tried to deny alcohol to its people, but it gave women the vote, which changed a wide spectrum of attitudes and practical elements of daily life. Women's hemlines and haircuts became shorter. They wanted to drink and smoke, just as men did. And women took as much freedom and license in the Roaring Twenties as their male counterparts. Sure, a few women in the pages of the popular magazines who were working as private detectives or reporters had positions intended to make them assistants or Girl Fridays. But there they were, in front of the situation, usually smarter than their bosses, often bailing them out of difficult situations, and, while often proclaiming their fear, equally as feisty and fearless as their sidekicks. Just as that social revolution of the 1920s changed women's roles in real life, as well as in fiction, the upheavals of the 1960s and 1970s, specifically the feminist movement, also had a profound and inevitable effect on women in the world of detective fiction, both as authors and as characters. Marcia Muller had her first book published by Mackay Washburn, a modest little company that took a chance in 1977 on Edwin of the Iron Shoes, which introduced Sharon McCone, the first novel that was written by a woman to feature a tough female private eye. That publishing breakthrough opened the gate, and it wasn't long until a few others stepped through before a positive crush poured forth. The first, and in many ways, most notable authors to walk in those shoes were Sue Grafton, who brought Kinsey Millhone to readers in 1982 with the first of her worldwide best-selling alphabet series, A is for Alibi, and Sara Paretsky, who, in the same year, published the first V.I. Warshawski novel, Indemnity Only, another series that went on to become an international success. Paretsky also was the driving force behind the creation of Sisters in Crime, an organization officially formed in 1987 with the intention of attracting more attention to women mystery writers, both in terms of reviews and sales. A look at the mystery section in bookstores and the bestseller lists is undeniable evidence that the organization has achieved its goals. The stories in this collection span a century and a half, and range from the cozy, which is not a pejorative, as some of its most popular practitioners have accused it of being, to the hard-boiled, which is difficult to define precisely, but, like porn, you know it when you read it. They are the distillation of a lifetime of reading, as well as publishing, editing, and retailing, and were selected for a variety of reasons, not the least of which was historical significance. Admittedly, some of the milestones of distaff detection will require a touch more patience than more contemporary female ferrets, but they have their own charm and are worth the reader's attention. Seeing the evolution of the female detective style as it gathers strength and credibility through the decades is educational, but that is not the purpose of this book, or not the primary one, anyway. The writers whose work fills these pages are the best of their time, and their stories are among the high points of detective fiction that may be read with no greater agenda.